legends gather around because it's time to get down, and it's time that we get down to the beatdown. This is Friday, and Friday is for fighters. So let's get started. Oh boy, we have a fighter. He's one of our woodsy neighbors to the north. His name is Mondher Izemrane. Hopefully I did that correctly this time. How you doing, Mondher?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Very excited for next week. And yeah.
Yeah, you've got your first fight coming up. Tell us more about that. Where's it going to be? How's it going to be? And how are you going to throw down?
Of course. So it's July 6th, Prestige Fight Series for at the Palais Royal in Toronto, Canada. And been working with the team at MAFA in Mississauga for a while. They gave me the opportunity, and I'm very blessed. I'm very excited to show what we've been working on. Great team over there with Coach Eric, Crew G, and of course the team. A lot of them, a lot of experience. They've all had multiple fights, so it's honestly just been a blessing to work with them and to learn with them and to grow with them.
And you've only been training for a couple years, correct?
Yeah, so it's been about a year and a half, 2 years on and off, and yeah.
Has it been hard for you to find training camps, good schools, and training partners up there in Toronto, Ontario, Canada?
Honestly, I'd say I got very lucky. The first gym that I tried was Mafa, and right away I knew that these guys were serious. Before I even knew that I wanted to, take the sport seriously, I knew that they were serious. The way that they treat their fighters, the way that they give you opportunities like this, they watch the fighters grow. There's multiple people that are constantly fighting, so they're really there to build up fighters. So I was very blessed, to be honest. The first gym that I chose, I decided to stick with.
All right, you said you didn't know if you were going to take it seriously. So, what first got you into the gym?
So you watch UFC, you watch boxing matches, and you're like, oh, this is so cool. It's just two guys fighting each other. Oh, I bet I could do that, or oh, I wanna try that. So yeah, from a young age, I've always been into sports and athletics and stuff, but it's just something about combat sports. I guess maybe the difficulty behind it, or just the really the amount that it takes to step in there and to do that. I've always respected. So like, okay, I might as well just learn it. Worst comes to worst, I'll just like for self defense or whatever. But then I fell in love with it. I really fell in love with the art, and it definitely helps having a supportive community and a good gym and good coaches.
What other sports have you gotten into before you got into combat sports?
As a kid, I was mainly just soccer or football, depending on where you live. But I never really, I was okay at it, for a kid's level. But I was never really like, oh, I love this. Even watching it on TV, I kind of just, no offense to any fans, but I just see it as a bunch of guys kicking a ball around. There isn't really, And on top of that, team sports, I never really connected much with. Like, again, to add on to why combat sports, it's really like it's all you. Of course, you have a gym there, you have coaches, you have a team, but at the end of the day, if you don't show up, you don't show up.
Yeah, I only got into kids soccer for the free orange slices at halftime. That's all I'm saying. I get it. I understand it. And after just a couple years of training, you are going to be fighting your very first fight, July 6th, part of the Prestige Fight Series. Do you know who you'll be getting in the cage with?
I mean, I've seen the fight poster, so other than his name and the gym, no idea.
Yeah, now do you go into every fight with your camp? Or obviously, this being your first fight, but when you went into this camp, obviously, you're telling me you didn't concentrate on the fighter, you're still concentrating on you.
Exactly, yeah. I'm betting on myself. I don't. I'm sure he's training hard. I'm sure he's
Right.
working or whatever. I don't really care. My plan right now is show up and work hard, and that's it.
Yeah, show up and show out and get it done on July 6th, part of the Prestige Fight Series, which you will be able to catch right here on millions.co. Well, besides being a fighter and getting out there for your first fight, you're also a full time college student, correct?
That is true. That is true. Yes.
Now you're into your third year of computer science over at the University of Toronto. How's that going for you?
It's definitely tough trying to balance between them. That's why this summer I was like, I'm going all out on sports and kickboxing and at the gym, because it definitely is, like, being young and having to, like, it's all about priorities. It is all, like, there is enough time to do both for sure. I know people who do both, but it is all about priorities, and I definitely value education, but at the same time I also really care about this, and this definitely means a lot to me. And like I said, when given this opportunity, it is to fight at prestige fight series. It's hard to say no, or to put that aside, or to delay that. So I'm making the best of the time that I have right now.
Well, you have to take the opportunities as they're afforded to you. But just so you know, priorities remain a big thing as you get older, okay? It doesn't
Of
go
course,
away.
of course.
It doesn't go away. It only gets worse because you hear the clock ticking. Yeah, it happens, man, as you get older. Now, speaking of clocks ticking, when your time to get into the ring for the first time is ticking by, what are you going to do to be able to maintain your headspace and make sure you don't do that adrenaline dump?
It's hard to say because I've never really experienced this, so I'm not gonna act like I've learned from my mistakes. But right now, I'm just focused on showing up, ticking off the boxes, show up to training, listen to my coaches. They've done this. They know what they're talking about, and that's it. I'm just gonna treat it like it's just a sequential steps. Train this day, train this day, train this day, rest this day, eat this, eat that, sleep this much, do this, and then that's it. The fight. This is the work. Like there's only a few days left now. That's it. There isn't much. I was just about showing up for the 6 or 8 minutes on fight night.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I got to ask you a question. Before I ask you to make a prediction, I heard that you're the founder of FightSite.dev, which is an AI driven UFC prediction platform. Have you used FightSite.dev to predict the outcome of your upcoming fight on July 6th against Prestige Fight Series? Or with Prestige?
I haven't, because the way it works, we need a lot of stats and data on me and on the opponent. But I think what it would say is I'm bringing it at home.
All
But
right. Well, here's my question. How good is it? Can I make some money? And are you looking for a spokesperson?
you know the numbers are the numbers are it's about 75% accurate. So that's it. So
That's pretty good.
which fights it's accurate on? That's I don't know, but
Well,
75 is 75.
it's still got to be betting at the end of the day, right? I mean, I do a lot of fight predictions over here myself from time to time, and I can tell you this: there's only been one event where I've ever gone plus 75, and it was an esports event. COD Champs, I went 99% on my bet
Damn.
on my picks, but I've never even come close to that. So 75, that's pretty darn good, man. I'm gonna have to sign up for it. It's FightSite.dev. Maybe I can get myself a discount over there since I know the founder. I'm just saying. Just saying. All right. So we heard you think you're going to win because no fighter goes in there looking to lose.
Of course.
But how does it happen is my question to you, my friend.
Honestly, uh, it's just gonna happen. There's no whether it is amateur, so I'm not gonna say anything crazy or round one knockout. It is amateur. We're gonna be realistic here, but whatever it takes, it's gonna get done.
What do you think's the one thing that you've been doing in the gym and making progress on that will you'll be able to open up and use to get your hand raised in the air at the end of the day?
I think it's all about it's a lot of stuff. Honestly, we train a lot, but I'm definitely looking to just power shots, just single power shots. In case get that one money shot. But it is all over though. It is all over.
Well, every puncher has a chance, right? I mean,
Of
any
course.
punch can happen and get it down. Now, how are you doing with your walk around weight? You going to make weight easily?
Of course, of course.
Yeah, well, hey, man, it's your first big weight cut. I don't know. Yeah, hey, man, there
No,
were years on The Ultimate Fighter. Think about this. There were years on The Ultimate Fighter where fighters didn't come in at weight, and it still happens from time to
that
time.
is
Now you just
true.
get kicked right the out. But years ago, they used to keep you around. I can't understand how any fighter that's an up and coming fighter wouldn't be walking around at a close to fighting weight. I mean, 5 pounds off, maybe at the most. But some of these fighters that are like Patty there, walking around at like 100 pounds, or yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's not really 100 pounds, but his weight cut, that's not good for your body. Joe
for
Rogan will
sure.
tell you the same thing. So we call it around here reward day. We don't call it cheat day. But
Mhm.
when you go out and you want to celebrate all of your successes inside and outside of the gym, what's something that you like to treat yourself with?
Honestly, it's I have a huge sweet tooth, so these are days when I really like I don't have any upcoming responsibilities. Just chocolate cake,
It's
some
called a reward day. I get it. What
yeah,
kind of chocolate cake?
just any, honestly any, but
Really?
anything with fudge or brownies or
Uh,
anything with chocolate, I don't care. I'm eating
Now,
it.
now, do you have like a recipe of something that you like to make yourself? No,
Nope.
no. You're like somebody else cook for me, please. Do you have a favorite place to go for chocolate cake?
Not even. And just honestly, to be honest, the cheapest, the better. The more like processed ingredients and stuff like that, the better.
Your coaches are cringing somewhere. You realize that, right?
No,
They're
but I
like
know that's what I'm saying. This is like once in a like blue moon type of
blue
thing. Like
moon
this
type
is
stuff. All
yeah.
right, I got you. I get it. Yeah, you're allowed a reward, and I'm
Mhm.
glad that we know that it's chocolate cake. Betty Crocker, get this man a sponsorship. All right. We asked you, how's it going to go down? We already talked to you about some of the things that you have coming up, going on. Now, this is your time. This is the moment in the show that's your time. It's their time up there. It's our time down here. Thank your sponsors. Thank your parents. Thank the sponsors that you don't have, that you want. Thank your dog. Thank your favorite video game. I don't care. Thank Drake. Thank Kendrick. Do what you like. Throw it down right now. This is your time.
You know, like you said, it's all about just thanks. You know, I was very blessed with this opportunity. Just first fight to be at Prestige Fight Series. It's not, you know, it's not just a random show. They really do show out for the fighters. I know, like I've attended their last events because a lot of my teammates that fight down at Mafa participate in their last events. You know, it's all over. It's great. The fights are great. The way that they treat their fighters is great. So I'm expecting to be spoiled as well. But but all
Chocolate
over.
cake, free chocolate cake after the fight. Is that what you want?
Yeah, post weigh in meal chocolate cake.
All right, there you go. Keep going. Keep going.
And so it's honestly just a blessing, and also down at the gym with Mafa, like I said, with Coach Eric and Crew G and all the other team, the way that the effort that they put in and the fighters and stuff, they take the extra time out of their day to do it. So honestly, I'm forever grateful. No matter the result or the outcome of the night for me and for my teammates, I'm forever grateful for how much time they've given us and the opportunities that they've given us. And on top of that, of course, my parents, multiple sacrifices for this and everything, and it's just to be a full-time university student and then also tell them, hey, like I kind of just want to like try fighting on the side or whatever, and then just be like, okay, yeah, sure, as long as like you prioritize and you know what you're doing. That's also of course a blessing.
Well, have you had a fight coming up where you had to tell one of your professors, nah, 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 I got to go in the ring and beat somebody about the face, neck, chest, and
No,
breast
no,
area? No?
no. Because mainly because like I said, this is my first fight, and it's summer. And at the end of the day, I'm like, it's on me. If I want to take that, it's up to me to make the time for it or to balance the time. I'm not gonna ask, a professor or a coach, hey, like whatever. If I can't, then I can't.
All right, fair enough. I get it. I get it. Now it's time to play the game that all the kids are talking about on the playgrounds and all the adults are talking about around the water cooler. It's time to play 5 questions. It's exactly what it sounds like. We're playing 5 questions today with Mondher Izemrane, and they will be fighting on July 6th, part of Prestige Fight Series. I'm going to butcher that last name the entire interview. I'm terrible with it, and I
No worries.
apologize, by the way. I'm getting as close as I can to it, my
No
friend.
worries. No worries.
All right. As I already explained, you are one of our woodsy neighbors to the north, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. One of my favorite places. I have family up there even. And I ask every Canadian fighter this one standard question, and no one has been able to answer it yet. So hopefully you will be our first Canadian fighter to give us an answer. Which is better, Letterkenny or Shorzy?
I have no idea what that is. No.
I give up. I have literally asked 5 to 6 Canadian fighters about the biggest TV shows to ever come out of Canada and land here in the States. Letterkenny and Shorzy. Mind you, if you're a little bit older, you might think Trailer Park Boys, but that's okay. I get it. And no one has been able to answer. It says 2 things. 1, it's Americanized Canadian television. And 2, you guys are too damn busy in the gym. You got to watch some TV from time to time. I'm just saying, man.
I had no idea if it was a restaurant or a city. I had no clue what any of.
Do you know what Trailer Park Boys is, at
I've heard
least?
of that. No, I have
Okay.
heard of that.
All right, you've heard of that. Are there any strictly Canadian television shows that you watch that we should know about?
No, no.
All right, that question.
BFS. If
I'm gonna.
BFS counts, you guys should watch BFS if it counts as a TV show.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You know what? That counts. I'll take that. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna keep asking this question until we get somebody who's a fan of these shows. Man, only one other fighter has even heard of them, and that was Hunter Lee, by the way. We'll be catching up with Hunter Lee again very shortly. After being dodged with all those fights up there in Canada, he's finally got some fights coming. But all right, I'm gonna calm down from that question. That just kills me so much. It's so popular here in the States that it just blows my mind that it's not as big of a thing up there in Canada. All right. We always talk about the things we love about fighting. We talk about all the things that the gym and the community give to us and that we can give back to it. But what's the one thing that you hate about being a fighter?
I mean, it's hard to say. I wouldn't label myself as a fighter. I haven't even, first amateur. But overall, I'd say just the injuries. The actual like the risk, and it's because in training as well. It could happen in training, and it's just it puts you off, and it affects your normal life. You hurt an ankle, or you get a huge black eye or whatever it may be, and it just it seeps into your normal life, and it's just. And also it holds you back from training as well, or so that's not too nice. But I'm sure after this fight, or maybe after a couple more fights, I'll definitely have a different, more in depth answer.
So what you're saying is they haven't made you clean the bathroom in the gym quite yet.
No, no, very blessed for that. Definitely not. No, no.
That was one fighter's answer, by the way. When it's my turn to clean the bathroom at the gym. All right. Question number 3. This one's another pick 'em, but this one should be easier for you.
Okay, hopefully.
All right. Avril Lavigne, Justin Bieber, or Drake? Where are you going?
Drake.
All right.
Yeah, Drake.
Drake versus Kendrick. Where are you going?
Um, Drake still. I don't like. I think I don't even know how they cross paths. To me, they're very different. Like they
They
serve
are.
very different audiences in the first place. So
I
it
agree.
was. So yeah, but no hate to Kendrick, no whatever. I don't like if you're a Kendrick fan, I don't care. Like
Kendrick talks
I don't
about
care about the
smoking
beat.
weed a lot, whereas Drake just complains a lot.
Yeah, honestly, it's very like I said, it's very confusing to me how they even cross paths in the first place. They're very different, but.
And
Yeah, if
somewhere,
there's a good Kendrick song, I'll listen to it. If there's a good Drake song, I'll listen to it. I'm just here for fun. Like,
Avril Lavigne is going, I haven't aged in 50 years. You guys. And Bieber's off the map now. Dude, he's off the
yeah.
reservation, dude. He's like, yo, I'm done. I'm good, bro. I get it. But I got to give Bieber a lot of credit. He said 2 things back in the day that I still can't get over. When asked why he was making all these mistakes. He goes, you give $300 million to a 16-year-old to find out what happens. And he's not wrong, right?
He's definitely not. He's definitely not.
And then when he was one of the first celebrities to come out and publicly say, I'm not taking pictures with fans anymore. And a lot of people gave him what my nana would say is guff, right? And he goes, look, when I first started doing this, you had to carry a camera with you everywhere you went to be able to take a picture with me. Now, everybody, every single human being on the planet has a camera already with them. There's not enough time in the day. And you know what? I can't argue with that either.
That's true. That's true.
I know
I'm
a
still
lot of,
stuck on the fact when he said, give 300 million to a 16-year-old. You say, wow, that is, yeah. When as fans we see it like unfold. Yo, it's just a kid. He's a star, but to him, like he's just a 16-year-old with a ton of money. Like,
and his dad was like 30 at the time. So it's not like his dad was a steadfast, true adult with all of his together. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were just going out and partying together. Like, oh, you're 15. You want to buy a Lamborghini? You go ahead.
Let's get two.
Yeah, let's get two. Matching colors. Let's do it. Yeah, I'll drive one home. You can watch the other one drive home on the back of the truck. All right. That was solid work. The Letterkenny Shoresy thing, every time I put it down, it kills me. But that's solid work right there. And once again, I do want to mention that you will be fighting July 6th, part of the Prestige Fight Series up there in Canada, our home and native land. Well, not mine, but yours. True patriot. All right. Anyways, number 4 of 5 questions. Here we go. Thus far, early on in your fight game, what has been the biggest lesson you have learned?
There's always more to do. There's always more to do, and there's always more to do. You have never done enough. You've never done enough. You can try harder in the things that you are doing. You can do an extra round, run an extra mile, whatever it may be.
You're not wrong. You in the fight game, if you stop learning, retire. Just retire, because it's not because there's nothing left for you to learn. It's because you've stopped trying to. There's always something. I don't care if you're a master of 180 million years sitting out somewhere next to a Buddha statue, and you found eternal happiness. There's still more to learn, and that person would probably tell you the same thing. So that's solid advice. I like that, and it shows that you're self-aware and paying attention. So good work to you right there, my friend. All right, last question of 5 questions. As you can tell, it's not really 5 questions. It's however many questions I feel like asking at the end. I asked this to all the Canadian fighters as well, because I've spent a lot of time in Canada. My family's from Buffalo. So obviously it's right there. We just wave. We're like, hey, Canada, how are you? Oh, yeah, you want to have a beer? Get me one of those Molsons. All right, anyways. I always ask this, and it always gives me some good answers. What is the difference, or the biggest difference, between the U.S. and Canada?
I've never been to the U.S., so it's hard to tell. But for me, how I like to see it, based on media portrayal, it's just that the U.S. they just do whatever they want over there. Like, it's all over the place, and then here it's a bit more chill. That's how I infer from media portrayal.
Hold on, that's a great T-shirt. Canada, we're a bit more chill. I like it. Canada on the front, on the back it says we're a bit more chill. I could get down with that. Maybe we'll have to make a merch drop for that. We might have to. I've already got the jab merch. We've got the Everyone Loves a Good Fight merch. The Logan Summit Show, obviously got to put your logo on stuff. And now we'll have a Canada shirt for all my Canadian fighter friends. I'm not against that. I always say the biggest difference, or the best way to describe the biggest difference between Canada and the U.S. is we put up a wall, you put up shrubbery.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, when you break it down, it really does make sense. Man, I've had nothing but a pleasure talking with you today.
Me too, man.
Obviously, you got your head screwed on straight. Can't wait to see what happens when you step into
Thank
the
you.
ring or the cage for the very first time on July 6th at the Prestige Fight Series, which will happen right here on millions.co. And that, by the way, was 5 questions brought to you, of course, by our illustrious sponsors, Newer. If you're a content creator in any form or fashion, go to newer.com, use code Logan, save yourself 20%, all of that pro gear at amateur pricing. And yes, I know what you're asking. Yeah, the link is in the about section, each and every single one of these platforms you're watching this on. Yeah, we're on 5 different platforms. Pick one and stick with it. All right. It's going down July 6th. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, Mondher, thank you so very much. It's Mondher Izemrane! That took everything out of me right there. I'm old, bro. Go out there and get your first win.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being here. Sorry for murdering your name the
No worries.
entire day. You'd think I'd be better at it, but I'm not. I'm not. But I appreciate YOU for being here as well. So until next time, be good
Thank
to
you,
yourself and be kind to others. Pay it
sir.
forward, play it forward. Rock like a party star, party like a rock star. Smile strong, laugh loud. Last but not least, please like, follow, and subscribe so you will know what I will be up to soon. Thank you once again for being here. And remember, everyone loves a good fight. We'll see you next time. Be well.